Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a collective reading and energy update. So we are going to be taking a look at the collective energies at the moment and channeling through messages that are designed to help you along your individual soul's journey. Do keep in mind, however, that these, of course, being collective general readings, are going to be readings that are meant to help to connect you with what your intuition already knows. Your intuition is really the roadmap for your life. It is the compass of your life experience, as we often say here on the channel. So always listen to that intuitive voice within yourself above all else. Take from this reading only what really resonates and feels good for you and leave the rest. For some reason, I heard the word rose right away. So roses might be significant to someone in some way. This also could be someone's name. I'm hearing this could be symbolic as well, because a rose is so beautiful, but it also carries thorns. And I feel as though the best way I can describe this is someone has been experiencing both of those extremes lately, either of their life or maybe of their own self, both the thorns and the beauty of the rose petals. So maybe in your life, you've been experiencing some of those extremes more than usual, or maybe in your own being, you've been feeling your own thorns in some symbolic sense. Maybe something recently triggered something within you or caused you to maybe feel like a thorn to someone else. But the thing about that is, I feel that someone may have spoken their truth to someone in their life, and it's almost like this person may have thought that you were all rose petals. They didn't realize that you are the rose. You have this beauty about you, but you will also cut right to the core. You also can be a very triggering presence because these two sides of you it's like they're inherent to one another. One couldn't be without the other. The rose couldn't be without the thorns in this scenario, and vice versa. I'm hearing polarizing. You may have felt as though your energy or presence was really polarizing for a group of people, or maybe for a specific person. I'm hearing connecting with you is like a deep spiritual activation. You are like a spiritual awakening wrapped up in a physical human form. And anyone who comes into contact with you physically for a significant period of time is bound to be activated spiritually as well. I'm hearing knowing me as a spiritual experience. Maybe that will be some affirmation of comfort for someone listening if you have been triggering to someone in your life, or if you felt as though people were reacting negatively and positively to you, as if you were drawing out this kind of polarizing reaction from others. It might be helpful to remind yourself that knowing you isn't a surface level physical experience. Someone can't just skate by on the superficial surface with you for long periods of time. Again, knowing you and connecting with you is a spiritual experience. It's not just physical. I know we're talking pretty high level here, but I'm also feeling that for someone listening, you've been manifesting through these messages. I'm getting the letters DEMON. These could be letter initials in someone's name. Also the letter initials SIRA. I'm just picking up on someone feeling very raw, very vulnerable, very exposed, not in the sense of having hidden something that's being exposed, but just feeling as though it's almost like you're bearing your soul, like feeling as though you're just out there standing emotionally naked, just visible for everyone to see. And I'm hearing not everyone deserves that right. It's a right to be able to access you in your vulnerability. And I almost feel as though you may be feeling as though you are being seen vulnerable by what you might think of as the wrong people. What I mean is you might almost feel as though this is such a strange energy. I'm not sure who I'm connecting with here, but you might almost feel as though maybe you said certain things to certain individuals that weren't at that level, that weren't ready for that level of access to your spiritual wisdom, to your rawness, your realness. I feel like whoever I'm channeling here, you have this experience of moving through life. I don't want to say diluting yourself because I don't feel that you ever dilute yourself, but you have this intuitive awareness of where people are on their journey. And I'm hearing that you've developed this uncanny ability to be able to almost instantaneously read where someone is. And because of this high level of intuition, you can actually read future potentials of conversations without actually needing to enact those conversations in the physical. So sometimes when you're speaking to someone, you get the urge to share something with them that you know would be true and authentic and helpful. But sometimes I'm hearing to some people, the medicine is a poison or feels like a poison. I'm not sure why I'm getting that. It's like you have the medicine, but someone thinks that it's a poison or they reject it because it's beyond their level of comprehension or understanding. I feel like you've learned how to give people what they're ready for in measured doses rather than giving them everything at once, even if it is all healing information, even if it is all truth and would be helpful to them at a different level of consciousness. I'm seeing like the equivalent of someone who is working as a trainer at a gym and they know that a beginner isn't going to be able to handle the same exercises as someone who's been going to the gym several times a week for decades. And so they create a training program based on that person's level of knowledge and understanding. And I feel as though you're almost like this spiritual trainer or teacher. For some of you, you might literally be in some kind of teaching or training capacity. You could be a coach, a mentor, a guide, a therapist, a doctor of some kind. You might work in the medical field, a nurse. I'm just getting this energy of someone being in a role where their job is to help others, to assist others, but it's almost like within you is this vast storehouse of spiritual wisdom and information. And yet you have this awareness that most people you interact with on a daily basis are not ready for that vast storehouse of knowledge. So you have to almost share it with people in these measured, intuitive doses. You're aware of how much information someone is ready to hear. And it's almost like you can see in the eyes of others when they stop going with you to that deeper level. You've become very adept at picking up at this. In fact, you're so good at doing this, at reading someone's level of spiritual consciousness and awareness, and even their just pure level of emotional self-awareness, to the point where You can feel it right in the middle of a conversation, and it will intuitively guide how much you share and how much you withhold. I'm also hearing that sometimes you will be completely silent, and it's not that you are diluting yourself. It's that you know that access even to the information that you hold within you is a privilege. And again, not everyone can care for that information. Not everyone is going to be able to hold it. And so you don't always give people access to the deeper levels of your knowledge and the levels of your mind. But what this also means is that you are this metaphorical ocean, and it often feels as though people are playing in your shallow end. And I feel this deep loneliness comes up at times, and that might be what we're getting into here. I know this has been such a strange kind of winding reading, but it's been leading us into this message around feeling like there are so few, if any, who can truly meet you at your depth. And I'm hearing it can be tiring to feel like you're always engaging at that shallow end. Shadow, that's interesting. Maybe someone's shadow was triggered by you recently. Maybe you kind of went for it and said, you know what? I'm going to share more of myself with this person. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to open up more. I'm going to reveal more information to them. And they couldn't handle it, or they were triggered by it. And this may have caused this kind of backlash of hurt to you as well, because it intensified that feeling of loneliness, like no one can truly meet me at my depth. This may have been a very karmic situation with contract upright, or this person themselves that you may have tried to open up to in a deeper way may have been caught up in their own karmic contracts. I'm hearing this may have had to do with family or very long-standing relationships. This person is coming up as metaphorically blind. It's almost like they're walking around in these karmic loops. This could also relate to like a victim mentality this person might have that they haven't transcended out of. And it's almost like every interaction has the potential to trigger them or to hurt them, because they are living almost blind, living very, in a sense, unconscious to their own triggers and their own patterns. And I feel like you may have touched on one of those triggers almost just through being present in this person's life, living in your own abundance. This isn't someone consciously trying to drag you down or anything like that, but I feel they may have done that unconsciously because they are perceiving you in this really abundant state of being, meaning you're very free flowing, you're very thriving. And I'm hearing rules. This person lives by rules. I'm not sure what exactly that means. You might know for yourself. This may be someone who's very strict, very rigid, either with certain habits, routines. This could also just be very fixed belief systems within this person that prevent them from opening up to their own limitless nature, the abundance that's available to them energetically and literally. And it's almost like you try to be raw and vulnerable and open with a person who just wasn't on your level. And I don't mean that in any kind of an egotistical way, but this is someone who, if spirituality or emotional self-awareness has levels, it's like they might be on level 5, but you're on level 89 or something like that. Now, of course, there aren't literally levels here, but it's that you've done so much inner work to develop such a deep level of self-awareness, and you spiritually worked to transcend your own limiting belief systems and patterns, to heal yourself mentally and emotionally, to come into this state of abundance. And I feel that very often at this state of your journey, you're able to inspire so many people from afar. In fact, more people than you actually are aware of consciously. However, the irony is, while you inspire so many people from afar, when you get up too close and personal, people very often find you more triggering than inspiring. It's almost like someone who becomes a celebrity or takes on some kind of level of what people consider to be fame, and they might create things that inspire people at a distance, but they also might find that people within their own, for example, their family, maybe their childhood friend group, people very close to them can actually feel very, very triggered to be so close to someone who is experiencing this level of creativity and passion and being in the flow of their life, this level of abundance, however they're defining that personally. It's almost like that's going on with you, where you've reached this level spiritually where many people feel a connection to you afar in some sense. They're very inspired by you. Now, for some of you, this could be literal. You might be creating in the physical 3D world and sharing that online. For others of you, this may be more so in the quantum realm. When I talk about the quantum, of course, we're talking about the collective web of consciousness that we are all energetically tapped and tuned into, that allows us to be very telepathic with each other on a soul level, even if we haven't met or haven't recently interacted in the physical 3D world. And so you're sending out this signal in the quantum realm that is inspiring, awakening, and uplifting many other souls. It's funny, I know my voice kind of cracked there for a second, but I didn't want to stop and edit it out because I feel that can also be a sign that you are helping other people clear and open their throat chakra, meaning you are inspiring others to put themselves out there, to step into their own truth. And I'm hearing that's why what you're doing is so important. Don't underestimate the importance of sharing yourself, your gifts, your creativity in whatever way you are doing that. I'm actually hearing as well that there may be some very powerful individuals who are aware of you, who have their eye on you, or who are spiritually connected to you. So these could be certain individuals in positions of literal 3D power in the spotlight in some sense in the physical world. I'm getting that for someone listening. You might be the type of person who actually doesn't really enjoy being the center of attention or being in the spotlight, but you like to create things that make an impact. You like to do things that resound around the world because you're here to lift the planetary consciousness. And for some of you, being in the spotlight might be a byproduct of that, but not necessarily something that you aim for or something that you necessarily enjoy in every case. It almost just might be, I'm hearing it comes with the territory or it comes with the job for some of you. For others of you, you may have avoided the spotlight literally altogether and just found ways to create and to share yourself, to have that energetic impact without needing to put yourself in that spotlight, which again, might not necessarily be something that you enjoy. Now, another card came out here, walking away. I'm hearing escaping, this desire to just run away. I don't know why, but I'm hearing earthquake. It's almost like there was an emotional earthquake, some kind of fight, some kind of turbulence that may have just caused you to want to run away, to want to just go and not hide, but just retreat back into yourself. This won't be for everyone, but maybe again, there was some event or triggering or challenging moment at work or in an interpersonal relationship that just made you want to just retreat. I'm hearing to run off into the forest like a goddess that's just wanting to be free and in touch with nature and deeply connected to Gaia and Yeah, you could definitely resonate as a divine feminine because we're getting a lot of that goddess energy here. You may often do that for whoever I'm speaking to. You might at times just feel called to run out into the forest, literally or metaphorically. I'm seeing a beautiful pond, a lily pad for some reason, a ladybug. These could resonate with someone in some way. I feel that you may have set boundaries or walked away from certain people who couldn't meet you at your level. Maybe you realized intuitively that you were meant to inspire them from afar, as you've been doing, but that being up close and personal, it was almost like because they couldn't connect with you at your level, it was just draining you. I feel like there's someone you may have felt like you had to walk on eggshells around, or that was so easily triggered by you. I'm seeing a cactus for some reason. You may have felt as though you couldn't touch this person or get close to them or help them without there being this immediate backlash. And I'm hearing it's time for you to allow people to meet you at your level. Yes, you are intuitive. Yes, you are able to sense where someone's at on their journey, but it's tempting when you can do that to dilute yourself or to lower yourself to their level because you can sense where they're at. But I'm hearing that sometimes the best thing you can do is hold your distance and hold the frequency of your thriving and your abundance to be that example of a higher vibration that they can rise and meet you at, but to not try to force connections or to force emotional intimacy with people who quite simply aren't at the level of being able to hold you in your entirety. With the root chakra reversed, I feel like the person or group of people who may have been triggered recently may have either left you feeling very ungrounded. There might just be the need to really ground and stabilize yourself here, or they themselves might just be feeling in general very ungrounded, which is why they might be in this state of feeling so triggered. Okay, so it's kind of been a strange reading. I'm not sure who or how this is connecting, but this is just where the messages and the energies have been going. I'm hearing that at times the current energies can feel very volatile or very turbulent, meaning the highs can feel really invigorating, really inspiring and impassioning, but the lows can feel extremely stagnating. Can I get any information on this? Grief, loss with the 5 of Cups, someone grieving, someone wanting to isolate, someone feeling the weight of their own trauma, feeling heartbroken. And then we have almost an entirely opposite energy, the Magician, someone feeling deeply in their power, tapped into their magic. Maybe this is representing that vacillating energy, those highs and those lows, feeling so empowered, feeling so confident, so in your own element. And then suddenly flipping into that deep sadness, that deep sense of grieving, maybe not even knowing what you're grieving, but just, I'm hearing feeling the tears flow. You may have literally had moments where you were crying without knowing why. I'm seeing a mountain. Now, if that doesn't resonate with you flipping between these energies, then this might resonate with those that you've triggered. So it's like you and your Magician energy are triggering those who are still deep in their trauma, still deep in these unconscious patterns. Something shifted collectively within the last year to 18 months, where in the past you felt called to lower yourself vibrationally, to connect with others, I'm hearing to share the plight of others, to make them feel seen, to give them a voice by getting down in those deep, harsh, negative emotions and giving them a voice from that place, making them feel seen from that place. But I'm hearing what's shifted is you've now been called to hold the frequency. So now you've been called to finally allow yourself to experience your own thriving, to experience your own abundance, your own freedom, your own peace, your own self-love, and to stand firm in that. So whereas before it felt very natural to empathize with others by actually experiencing what they were experiencing, really getting down in almost like maybe you actually had very heavy, dark life experiences, so you could share in the plight of others from a soul perspective and really understand them from the inside out and help them to raise their vibration by, I just keep hearing like getting down in the mud with them. But something shifted. It's almost like you've been promoted to a different role spiritually, whereas before you were meant to be like down in the thick, in the middle of things with others. Now you're meant to be much more personally focused. You're meant to be holding the frequency of these higher vibrational states, and in doing so, seeding the light into planet Earth and the collective consciousness, which again is why now your energy is so inspiring to so many people, but many of these are in a sense being inspired from afar, whether that's literal or something happening in the quantum realm energetically. They might even be coming to you in dreams and meditation. It might be a frequency you're sending out that's inspiring others so deeply in that way. But again, it's more so at a distance. Whereas previously, you may have had many more people that you were 3D connected to and inspiring from that closer proximity. Whereas now I feel your inner circle has become very small because again, there are very few who can really connect with you at this higher level. And that's actually the way that it's been designed to be. This follows this natural expansion, this natural evolution of the energies, and this, again, what we're calling this promotion that's happened for you spiritually, which my guides are kind of correcting me and saying there's no higher or lower positions in a sense. It's just a changing of roles. So it's not better or worse. It's just different. Now, it might allow you to experience a lot more abundance, a lot more thriving, to really hone in on getting laser focused on manifesting your personal desires as well. But there's no better or worse. It's just a difference in roles here. We also have the Three of Swords reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. So I'm now picking up on a masculine energy who is overcoming some very dark internal patterns. The King of Pentacles reversed, this is someone who's been very preoccupied with the physical, whether that's financial things, whether that is something related to their work, being overly fixated on their career, on the material. But again, this is someone powerfully healing. I really feel this opening their heart chakra as well. With the Nine of Swords, at the moment, their human self is feeling stressed, feeling a bit overwhelmed. But I'm hearing the reason they're feeling overwhelmed is because their heart is showing them how they've misplaced their focus. So this heaviness that they're feeling, it's not stagnancy, it's actually transformation. It's transforming them into this King of Wands and Page of Cups energy, meaning being the King of Wands feels very new for them. It's almost like they're, through this opening of their heart chakra, beginning to develop a newfound empathy and newfound sensitivity about them. But they're a beginner. They feel like they are a beginner at really knowing how to become emotionally self-aware and to connect with others from that emotional place. This may have been someone who connected with others in the past dominantly through logic and not through emotion. And that's something that they've really thrown off within themselves. With the Devil card reversed, this feels like someone who's been released or who has released themselves from a very heavy or enslaving dynamic. I want to say they're freeing themselves from the matrix. However that looks for them personally, this is someone whose eyes are being opened through this opening of their heart. And this is transforming them because it's softening them. It's softening their energy. It's allowing them to emotionally connect more deeply with others. And ultimately, I see this leading to a Two of Cups, leading to a very harmonious, soul-based connection, a partnership that's actually very balanced. Now, if this is a romantic situation for you, I'm hearing that this masculine was not able to offer a balanced partnership in the past, or you may have felt blocked from manifesting any kind of partnership with them in the past fully because spiritually they weren't ready. They weren't capable of offering a partnership in a balanced way. So it's like they were being bounced out of your life. And it's only through this transformation, we have the Empress, that they're able to connect with you in your Empress energy. But again, I'm seeing the importance of you allowing yourself to continue floating up in this Empress energy, being abundant, focusing on your own thriving, your own freedom, flowing with your life in an attitude of surrender. Surrender is really the key word of so many of the collective shifts that have been taking place. And it was actually the card at the bottom of one of my oracle card decks that I noticed when I first started this reading. And this card says, detach, trust, free fall, have faith that all will be well. So that feels like a really good point to close off the first reading and have a little intermission between this and, of course, the extended Patreon reading. Now, if you are new to the channel, I do create 3 additional extended Patreon readings every single week. So when you join our Soul Tribe on Patreon, you get access to 3 additional readings per week, as well as my full library of previous extended readings as well. So in this particular extended reading, of course, we're still going to be following the flow of the energy, seeing what comes up as you contribute your powerful, unique, energetic frequency to that extended reading, which of course co-creates all of the messages. But I do imagine we're going to be diving deeper into this masculine coming up here, how their heart chakra is softening and opening, how this is leading as well to real-time changes. I'm hearing it's changing their personality, it's changing the way that they interact, and it's changing the future timeline potentials of this connection. In addition to that, we'll also be looking at anyone or anything else that might be connected to your aura. So what this means is they might be coming up in your thoughts, your dreams. They might be affecting your energy in some way. I find those portions of the extended readings particularly helpful because often we can actually be unconscious of certain people or energies that are affecting us in real time, in real ways. So those auric reads really do help to hone in on those dynamics and bring them to the light of consciousness, so to speak. So if you are feeling guided to join me in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, you can do so by clicking on the link that is in the pinned comment and the description box underneath this video. I am going to be closing this first reading on YouTube with one final Rumi Oracle card. So what is one final message to close the reading? The Cloak of Christ. The number 444 may be connecting with someone. I'm also seeing a general energy of divine protection of your path coming up here. And Rumi here says, in the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, you reside on the king's throne and teach the angels the nature of the divine. And the guidebook also says, you are tired, beloved. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. Remember, your reactions are a symptom of your exhaustion and a sign that you need respite, sanctuary, restoration. They are not a sign that something must be done, so much as a sign that something must be received, allowed. So that feels like a perfect place to close off the reading. I am sending you all so much love and light energy. If you do resonate with the reading, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your day and start to your week. And I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.